So Harold spent the summer in Normandy as William's guest. He was in fact captured by some obscure Norman baron who thought Harold would make very good material for ransom. But when everybody found out who Harold was, William travelled to meet this baron, tapped him on the shoulder and said, look, if you know what's good for you, you'll hand Harold over to me, which he duly did. So Harold was the guest of William for the whole of that summer, which of course raised the question, two questions. Once again, what on earth was Harold up to? And secondly, what on earth do we do with him? Do we just entertain him and give him board and lodging for as long as necessary? How long is necessary? One obvious thing, of course, is to cut his throat, which would simplify the arithmetic considerably. But William, knowing what he was about to embark upon, has to make sure that he's in the right. Damn it, he's going to steal somebody else's territory. He's got to be in the right. And if it's proved that he has committed a crime like murdering a guest, it won't do his public reputation any good. So we can't kill him. He doesn't want to send him back without getting some kind of profit. He's had Harold dropped in his lap. If he lets him go back with nothing done, it seems that he's missed a wonderful opportunity. What do we do? Well, in the summer, it was quite common for feudal lords, barons, counts, dukes, whatever, kings. They went campaigning. There was always a campaign to fight somewhere. There was always somebody on the borders of your land causing trouble, and you sent off a punitive expedition to rap him over the knuckles and tell him to behave himself. Or you went and did some raiding yourself. It worked both ways. And at that particular time, the Duke of Brittany, next door to Normandy, was causing trouble. Conan, his name was. William embarked on a campaign and took Harold with him. It seemed to make sense. It was something to do. It kept, he could keep his eye on Harold. It was a way of testing Harold. It was a way for William to find out how Harold behaved. What sort of a man have we got here? And Harold, by the same token, say to himself, right, I'll watch William on campaign. See what sort of commander he is. What's he like? What's he made of? So off they went to Brittany to besiege Count Conan in his castles. And it was very successful. And in the course of it, they had to cross a river, which was noted for its marshes and quicksands. And two Norman soldiers got into trouble. And guess who fished them out but Harold, Earl of Wessex. And the picture is in the tapestry. There is Harold. You can tell it's Harold because he has a moustache. All the Englishmen are depicted with moustaches. The Normans are always shown as clean-shaven, so you know who's on which side. And there is Harold dragging these two Norman soldiers out of the River Quennan. Well, William decides to make something out of this, so he has to thank Harold for what he's done. And he decides to thank him publicly. So he gives him a sort of duke's honour. He makes him a knight, as the Queen did in her recent birthday honours. But you see, in the 11th century, knighthood meant a bit more than a gong. Knighthood in the 11th century, if you became a knight created by somebody, you became that somebody's vassal. You became their inferior. You became their servant. You were committed to service to them. So what William had done was to set up a ceremony in which everybody could see that he was the overlord, Harold was the vassal. Wonderful for public relations. That was not the whole of it either. The next set of panels we see is this famous oath, in which Harold lays his hands on two altars and swears that when King William died, God forbid, he, Earl Harold, would help him, Duke William, to become the King of England. While at the time it seemed just an ordinary routine day-to-day oath. But when the oath was over, the story goes that Bishop Odo, once again up to no good, Bishop Odo had the covers taken off the altars, and there, underneath the covers, in the altars, were the relics of saints. Now, as you well know, the medieval world set great store by the relics of saints. They were magical. They could produce miracles. They were very, very significant indeed. So everybody utters gasps. Oh my God! Harold has sworn the most holy of oaths that he will help William become King of England. Well, of course, we all know, and any lawyer will tell you, that any oath sworn under duress doesn't count. But it didn't half count in 1066. William trumpeted this, as you can imagine, all over Europe. Harold didn't give a damn as long as he got him out of England and got him home. He'd achieved the object of the exercise. But that's what happened. This was the famous oath at Bayeux. It made sense for William, certainly, because it was a wonderful coup for public relations. Now we've got to go on to another general idea for a moment. We'll entertain you to a little bit of background once again.